Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest and greatest edition of Better Together Arizona. I'm Angela Hughey, the co-founder and president of One Community. With me today is Tom Collins, which is now my new favorite drink since we're going through these ballot propositions together. Tom, thank you so much for being here.
My name is Gabe Hagan. I am the co-founder of Brick Road Coffee here in Tempe. I believe it's important to vote because our rights are on the line. Visit yourvoteisyourvoice.com to register to vote and learn more about the upcoming election.
Today, we are talking about Proposition 312, which is the property tax refunds for public nuisance.
Yes.
What is this all about?
Sure. So this is about, so many people will recall over the past several years, especially in Phoenix, but in other cities as well, there's been a rise in homelessness. I mean, people experiencing homelessness is more now than certainly 10 years ago, and it's been increasing. So this proposal seeks to address that in kind of a unique way. It says that if you are owner of a property and you can show that you are incurring costs based on a city or county or town policy or law that's not enforcing sort of public nuisance laws. Sort of the examples in the measure are public drunkenness, trespassing, those kinds of things. You can apply to get a refund on your property tax that you've paid up to the amount of the property tax you've paid. The idea being behind the bill and the folks who back it is that you have paid into the city or town or county in order to provide for police and other public safety and for those laws to be enforced. And if they're not enforcing it, you ought to get some money back. Now, the opponents of this measure are saying basically that this is a backwards way to help
address homelessness.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's their point of view, and they say, basically, look, what you're going to incentivize is arresting a bunch of folks who really don't have anywhere else to go. You're going to be over enforcing. And the result of that is not going to help.
Over enforcement is already a concern, right? Yeah.
That's what they say. I mean, you saw that in the recent past here in Phoenix. We had an area of Phoenix called the Zone, which was an area where people experiencing homelessness had started to live near the state capitol. A group of landowners down there, property owners down there, sued the city of Phoenix for this kind of non-enforcement. They got an injunction from a Superior Court judge who said, yes, you need to go out and enforce that. And that led to essentially the city clearing out the folks who were living there from the area. So that's, again, this is a measure that was put on here by the legislature with the idea that, they think, if the cities aren't going to enforce these laws that are on the books, then the folks who are paying their tax for that ought to get their money back. So
it just seems to me that this is a Band-Aid, and the real issue is that we have a rise of people experiencing homelessness because we have so many people in the great state of Arizona that are living paycheck to paycheck, and we have issues with affordability, and so I don't know that this is actually addressing the problem.
Well, I think that if you look at everybody who is a registered voter should be receiving the Secretary of State's publicity pamphlet in the mail here, or will have already received it, or can go on the website. And what you'll see there is the pros and con arguments put in by folks who are in favor of this, and folks who are against it.
Okay.
The folks who are against it are saying exactly that. They're saying, look, we think that this ought to be addressed more holistically. We ought to be looking at services. We ought to be looking at whether or not we're even providing places for folks to go. And if you're going to create an incentive or pressure on the cities to go in and enforce these criminal laws, that's not going to address any kind of root cause. On the other hand, the proponents of this say, look, I am a property owner. This is diminishing my ability to, I've got costs. I've got upkeep. I've got somebody trash my backyard or whatever. Those are the kinds of stories that are folks
that are real world stories.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. And so that this is the legislature's proposal on those terms.
I would say it's Band-Aid, but Thank you very much.
Sure.
So a yes vote means that if I'm a shop owner and
Yeah.
I feel that I've incurred costs, and I can apply for a rebate in the taxes that I've paid.
Yeah.
And a no vote means that we're going to keep things the way they are.
That's correct.
Okay, got it. Wonderful. Thank you so much for walking us through Proposition 3. This is Proposition 312, property tax refunds for public nuisance. I want to remind everyone that this year's ballot is super, super long. It's 4 pages long. We encourage you to discuss this initiative and everything else that's on the ballot with your family and friends. Do your research, and please think about starting at the bottom of the ballot and working your way up. To learn more about all of the ballot measures and the candidates that are up for election this year, visit yourvoteisyourvoice.com. Thank you.
At Local First Arizona, we know the power of coming together to make a difference. Whether you're a small business owner or a loyal customer, your voice counts. Visit Your Vote is Your Voice today to register to vote and to learn more about the upcoming elections.